Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck. A lot of people ask me, what is self-government, or what does teaching self-government do? So this video is to explain to you what that is. Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is a person understands cause and effect in their relationships, and they've also made a plan for what type of person they want to be and how to get to their goals with their relationships and personally. So this takes a lot of continuous practice over the course of a person's life. It's not a quick fix, but what people do find is that as soon as they start deliberately working on the process of self-government, they do see some pretty amazing results. So this all started for me when I was a young mother. I had two children that were both toddler age, and my husband went back to school to pursue a different career. At that point, I decided that I was going to become a foster parent and take troubled teens into my home so that I could stay home with my young children. So we brought in youth ages 12 to 18 into our home for a number of years. All of these children were considered level 3 treatment children, which means they had issues that were maybe a little bit more than the normal difficulty. Many of them had things like ADHD, OCD, ODD, RAD, kleptomania, compulsive lying, anger control issues, bipolar disorders, stuff like that. Anyway, when they would come to our home, we could help them with their behaviors, but I wanted it to be more than that. I wanted it to be about their heart and them having a change of heart, recognizing that they wanted to have a certain path for their life. So what we have at Teaching Self-Government is we have a course that's online that people can go on, and it will take you step by step through the process of implementing self-government into your home. We also have a 3-day training that we do for couples a few times during the year, which sometimes you can join online or you can come to in person. And those are usually people's very favorite thing if they can do that, because they get the personal coaching from me and my team for the problems that they're facing in their home. But if you do the implementation course, there is a support group that's involved with that, and that support group is a weekly call where people on the group meet with me and I answer their questions. We also have, though, for people who want some other supplies and to get started with this process, is we have this book here, which is the Parenting a House United book. This is the centerpiece kind of everything we teach. It talks about the skills for self-government. These books right here teach the 4 basic skills to children. They're all contained in that yellow book as well. But this one, London LaRace Says Okay, teaches children how to follow instructions. That's a 5-step process. They look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. All of these skills have their own skill set attached to them. This one, Porter Earns a Quarter, teaches the skill how to accept no answers or accept criticism. Same skill. Then Paige Takes the Stage teaches how to disagree appropriately. Big Win for Quinn teaches how to accept consequences. If a person doesn't get the opportunity to accept consequences, that doesn't mean be given consequences. That means to actually calmly decide that those are okay and accept the consequences. Then the person cannot learn self-government. Instead, they will just learn to power struggle with you, which a lot of people don't realize. Anyway, a lot of people love those books because for children probably ages 12 and under, they're a super engaging way to teach the skills, and then you can practice them and use the books also to reinforce those skills after you've learned them as well. So we have this book in an audio seminar as well. So if you like an audio seminar, we have that. We have a DVD set, a 5 DVD set called a Family Tutorial as well, where you can watch me teach a family in real time these skills and help me get all of the self-government stuff into their home. There's not just the 4 basic skills in this book and the audio and the course. There's also 5 skills that parents need for how to teach their children. And there's also meetings. So these are the meeting journals which we have. We help families have good family meetings, individual one-on-one mentor meetings, Oh, that's a different one. And then couples meetings. Those are the 3 types of meetings that we have as a family. And then this SODA's journal, it's not soda like soda pop, but it is actually a problem-solving exercises journal that they can use to sort out some of their problems and help develop that prefrontal cortex so that they're better at problem-solving their situations in the future. So those are just some of the resources that can help you with the course. Those books are actually printable in the online course, which is really great at this time. Some of the other books that we have is we have this Roles book. So this is Roles, The Secret to Family, Business, and Social Success. I wrote this book because when I first wrote this book, I assumed everyone understood family roles. And I don't mean responsibilities, like whose job it is to take out the trash or who makes the dinner. Anybody can take out trash or make dinner. That's not a role. That's not an identity of a person. But what does it really mean to be a father? What does it really mean to be a mother? What does it really mean to be a 15-year-old son or a 12-year-old daughter? There are certain roles, you know, and actual identity components for that phase of a person's life. This is a story, it's a fun one, it's like a learning story. You see a family not having their roles in the right place. They've got some dysfunction going on, they're paying a little bit too much attention to some digital things, stuff like that, and you see them fix their roles and learn the process of self-government. It's a fun one to read aloud as a family. Then there's this one here, Popular Parenting Methods, which we also have an audio class for that we call Cultural Parenting Revolution, and it's the same class. This book is a perfect book for parental assessment. This talks about the different kinds of parenting, and it talks about where we get trapped with certain things and how to overcome some of those traps that we might find ourselves in. It helps us understand the long-term view of the different consequences of the way that we are going to, that we're parenting currently, perhaps, and definitely prepares a person to use the implementation course or the Parenting a House United book. Lots of times people will read this one before they read Parenting a House United because this one really gets the parents ready with their own self-government. It's hard to teach a person self-government if you don't have self-government yourself, which actually brings me to my most popular class that I have, which is called The Power of Calm. We don't have this one in a book yet. At some point, who knows, maybe it'll happen. But this Power of Calm class talks about the 6 steps for how to be calm when somebody else isn't, and how to help a person get calm without losing your calmness at the same time. This is a super liberating class for parental self-government, as well as helping the children learn how to be calm at the same time. All of these things, audios and books, can all be read and listened to by the children as well. No surprises in any of this. It shouldn't be. Any good parenting should be predictable, no surprises, completely honest and open. And that's the way all of this is, because it's really about just the true principle of self-government, self-mastery, and the freedom that comes with that. So here's the thing. In your brains, you've already programmed yourselves to handle problems with the family a certain way. You may not even like that way, but you have programmed yourself like a robot does, you know, programming. This is the track I'm going to use. As soon as something happens, somebody talks back to you or something, there's something that triggers in your brain, and you say the same thing or do the same kind of thing every time. Maybe it's your own attitude problem or your own anger that comes out. So how are you going to learn the things in these books and courses while you have these things going on inside your brain that you have to overcome? Well, in order to remove one habit, you can't just leave a hole there or you'll go back to it. You have to replace with a new habit. So we have these cue cards. That's a set of 5 different cards that help you remember the skills that you've learned in the course or in the books. And so in the minute, you can pull them out and you can look at them. When I was a foster parent, I took all of the words I wanted to say to correct the behavior and I wrote them out on recipe cards. And I thought, they're going to think this is so ridiculous. This lady that's teaching me doesn't even know what she's doing. And I thought, but I got to do it anyway, because otherwise I'm going to say something I wish I didn't say. And so that's what I did. I wrote out every single word. And then I would sit and I would look at it and say, okay, just now, I gave you an instruction and you didn't look at me. You know, I would start reading it. And I thought it would make them not respect me, but it did just the opposite. It validated me. It showed them that I was indeed self-governing myself. Another really popular resource that we have is this Teaching Self-Government Choices Map. So this choices map shows the family when certain things are to be used. So it starts here with an instruction that's given, or possibly it could be a no answer. It shows where to use the skills, and that disagreeing appropriately is always an option. And then it shows what happens if they choose the dark side. You see there's the light side and the dark side. Anyway, and that they can come over at any time and just get calm and talk to mom. The whole point of all this teaching is to get calm, to be understood, to have more heartfelt conversations with our children, and not have those behaviors and those manipulations and those power struggles getting in the way. So what they see clearly if you use the system consistently is they see either they get calm and talk to mom, or they go through all of this, they earn negative consequences, and then they get calm and talk to mom. And they realize, oh, really this is just about me and mom, or me and dad talking to each other. So anyway, those are some of the resources that we have for you, and you can find them on teachingselfgovernment.com. We have packages where we join things together, where you can get stuff for cheaper prices and those kinds of things. But I just wanted you to know right now what we have and who we are. There is a power that comes from self-governing yourself. It's a freedom you can't find anywhere else, because you recognize that you are the one that has control over your own happiness, no matter what happens to you externally, because that control, that happiness comes from the choices you make on the inside of you. And that's the type of power that we need to give our children. In these days where everything is trying to discourage them, where bullying and stuff is at an all-time high, and mental illness and stuff like that everybody's dealing with, we need to show our children that they have the power to choose, and that those choices can take them toward their goals, and that we will be there to support them along the way. So that's Teaching Self-Government. Go to teachingselfgovernment.com and you can find out a whole lot more.